So today we're going to look at one of my new rifles. This is a Steyr Mannlicher mountain rifle. And we'll just have a quick look at it from the back to the front. Has a very nice polymer stock. It's more solid than most of the other ones that I've had from like Remington and Savage, Ruger and things like that. It has an adjustable butt pad in the back there. Comes through to a nice, almost like a semi-target grip. There is the new Steyr action, as opposed to the Mannlicher Schoners that I've shown before. And we're just going to go further up here. There is the spiral hammer marks from the hammer forging. It's one of Steyr's trademarks, so they leave those on there. And all the way out through, and this is a shorter barrel, which I believe is 20 inches as opposed to the 23, 24 that they actually put on their standard rifles. Alright, so now we have our Steyr mountain rifle turned around so you can see it a little bit better while I'm sitting down here. This particular rifle is in 308, has detachable magazine, so let's take that out. And we'll have a look here once and show you that, yes, it is empty. Now, this rifle, as we talked about before, has the spiral exterior to it from the hammer forging process. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it looks very nice, very professional looking, and adds to the look of the rifle. Some other companies actually do the spiral on there like that, but they remove it by polishing it out. But Steyr keeps it, and it makes it look very nice. Now let's have a look at the bolt and the safety on this. Again, that was empty. So the position of the bolt actually has a 3-position, although you could also call it 4-position. So red is fire, like many other rifles. It's empty. And let's have a quick look at the trigger while we're talking about the fire position. Trigger is a single, or a more of a double-stage trigger. It has some take-up and then has a very crisp, about a 5 or 6 pound release. Butter smooth, nothing at all. I don't think that you can improve on that. However, if you did want to improve it, it does have adjustment screws here, and I probably can't see that, but it looks like Steyr has filled that with some sort of a paint or like a glue, probably more of a paint, to discourage people messing with it on their own. So you can do that to your own peril if you want to. I don't see that there's any reason really to do that. So let's have a little look at the safety. Again, we already showed the fire position. Make sure that we're recocked here because then the safety doesn't work the same. So, red for fire. Take and pull it back. It's a rotary type safety. Pull it back 1 notch and you get a white dot, which means you can pull the trigger, nothing happens, and the bolt is free to move to eject any shells at the end of the hunt. They take your magazine out, eject your shells with that, and total safety. Now, it also has a 3rd position, where if you roll it back, and a little gray thing pops up here too. So, it is still unsafe. Trigger doesn't work. And the bolt is now locked. So if you're going through brush and things like that, and I've already had, once in a while, a piece of brush grab a hold of the side of like a Remington, and it would pop the thing open. Not a big deal, but enough that I actually like to have them locked in place. Now, Steyr adds a 4th option. So we have safe, we have fire, we have lock bolt safe. Now say that you wanted to travel through some really heavy brush, or you wanted to put it in some sort of traveling case, like you had a Jeep or something like that, or an ATV. What you can do is, while it's in this position with the little gray bar up and the little white dot, you can actually push down on the handle. And what that does is, it's still locked, but it is actually really close to the rifle, so that it's not sticking out to catch any projections. Now whenever you get to wherever you want to hunt, all you have to do is roll the safety back 1 notch, or roll it forward 1 notch, and it pops up. Now your bolt is still locked because it is still unsafe here, and you roll it all the way up, and you can go like that. So that actually is one of the differences. After it's locked all the way down and you put it into safe, it still is locked. So, but that's the safety on that. A little bit different, but I think I can see the advantages on it, in that you can have your bolt locked down and also have it out of the way of any brush as you're traveling. Now, to take the bolt out, there isn't any kind of thing over here, any buttons to push or anything in the trigger guard to push, nothing at all like that. What you do is roll the safety over to safe, not all the way over with the gray thing sticking up, unlock the bolt, and actually pull it back until the gray portion comes up and your bolt comes straight out. Now let's take a look. I pulled out one of the bolts of, like I said, one of my favorite rifles, the Mannlicher Schoner, which is one of the reasons why I got the Mannlicher They're the Steyr Mannlicher. This bolt here, now it has a 1952 bolt handle on it, but everything else is designed at the beginning of the 1900s, because the 1903 model was the first sporting model that they had out with this action design. And you can see there's quite a bit of differences here. You have a 2-lug design for locking on the old bolt. There's actually 2 main lugs and 2 smaller lugs, auxiliary lugs in the back. And, you know, different striker on it, different bolt setup. This is actually a full width bolt body, which actually with the machining and stuff on it makes it a very smooth bolt to move back and forth on the modern rifle. The one thing that you see here is that it's still, this particular model of the Steyr Mannlicher still has the Mannlicher style bolt handle. Now some people dislike them. Now on the old one, whenever you would actually, if you pull on the bolt as you came up, you would actually pull a little bit here on the sharper ridge. Never seemed to bother me unduly, but the new design helps and gets away with that, or gets away from that. If you can see there, it actually scallops down into the back, so that the back of the bolt handle lies a little bit further down, and the front of the bolt handle has more of a profile of an oval type bolt. So if you palm the bolt up and back, you're still actually hitting an oval. So really it operates as a round or an oval bolt. Now let's see here once. Let's get that guy out of the way and put our bolt back in. Down and just go across with that. The magazine is a polymer magazine. Now this one is for 308 and it does hold 4 rounds. It's a straight staggered magazine, no rotary magazine like the old Mannlicher Schoners. Now this also has a very different feature on it as well. It actually has 2 positions on the magazine. Now you would wonder why you would have 2 positions, and I would wonder why too. So insert it all the way, and if you had rounds in here, they would feed through the bolt. Okay, so no problem there. They also give you another option, and this is probably a European style thing, I guess, is that you can actually go in and click it in one and no cartridges will feed. Now the only thing that I can think of for doing that, because it's a small ejection port, and I don't know, it would probably be hard to fit a cartridge in there, so maybe you could single load a cartridge of a different type and have this magazine in reserves, because down in this position they won't load from the magazine. You have to actually push it all the way up. Now one of the things I was just thinking about is a lot of the European hunts are guided, usually by law. So, or just basically the people that own the land, you know, insist that you have a guide. So in this way here, perhaps you can actually put your clip in there, your magazine in there, have your bolt closed on nothing, so you would have 4 rounds in here, and you have that there, and then whenever you get into position or it's ready to time to shoot, you snap it into position, you work your bolt, and you have a round chambered. That's just, you know, as an American thinking baby, the reason for that. So let's have a little look at the stock again. While we're here, on the stock you have the 2 spacers in it, and then the rubber recoil pad. You can actually add more spacers. You can take these out for if you have a youth shooter, and you can also get a softer recoil pad that I've seen advertised. The stock is a very heavy stock. It's more comparable to a custom polymer stock or a custom any type of stock that's heavier. I have other stocks that are from cheaper rifles that would make a big noise whenever you hit them. These are definitely heavier. It does have the trigger guard is molded into the stock. I wasn't too happy about that whenever I was looking through the catalogs, but you know what? It's a very heavy polymer, so I don't really have a problem with that. The stock itself is flat in the bottom here, as you can see, and it's very good for shooting off of the bench or any kind of rest. Plus, now I'm not really a big one for flat bottoms on a forend for a stock, but on the front here, if you can see it, they actually do have like finger grooves that run up through. So the actual profile of the rifle is fairly, the rifle stock on the forearm is very slim. And for me, it works out very nice. The barrel, again, is 20 inches. It's a mountain rifle barrel. So it's 20 inches and is also of a smaller diameter all the way through. So it's a little bit lighter. The rifle carries very well, balances very nicely. Scope mounts, I have on here a Leopold standard mount, specifically for Steyr, this particular run of rifles. And basically it's just a flat top receiver with a standard bolt pattern. So I'm sure that other ones would actually work for that, of different heights or whatever kind of setup that you would like with that. So anyways, this is the modern version of the Steyr Mannlicher, as opposed to the old one from the 1950s and 1903, 1908, 1909, 1910, and there's a couple other ones after 1952 as well. So definitely wanted to get this one to round out the collection. And also, this one I got at a very good price, under $600, and they typically go for about $700. Although here in was it August of 2016, I did see one just go recently for $500, brand new, almost the same rifle. It's just not a mountain barrel profile. I think it was more of a 23 or 24-inch barrel. So anyways, a very nice rifle, accurate. I don't think I mentioned that. It does shoot right at 1 MOA with the 308 factory loads. And it is a high quality, a moderate price, and I would highly recommend this rifle. So, this is Snowball042. Thank you for watching, and out.